Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Everyone has a person in our life that's made a difference. Maybe it was a parent, a neighbor, a teacher. So when people say that your vote doesn't matter, you know that one person can make a difference. That's what voting can do. It provides the power of a single voice to impact people's lives. So this November, use your voice and vote to make a difference. Go to votehq.org to learn how to vote this election season. Paid for by American Independent Radio.
And now, live from the TCL Broadcast Studios, it's Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
All right, we have to bring up one of the most wonderful coincidences of our lifetimes.
Of our lifetimes?
Of our lifetimes.
Yours is a little bit longer than Manny and mine.
Today is the 72nd birthday of the late, great Dark Star.
Oh, it is.
And today's topic on the Judd and Mackey show in the fallout from Heather Fleck's tweet yesterday was, does the Twin Cities need a negative sports guy like Patrick Royce?
Yes.
And of course.
And I first off, I swore, and I told you this earlier today, I swore that Phil and Judd have done this poll before.
They might have done this poll, but they have 4 hours to kill, and I can't blame them.
It makes sense.
I'm going to be silent, but I think I know what you're leading up to.
But of course, the original concept can be traced to the Dark Star show, midnights to 3 on The Big Neighbor in 1991.
I love this story.
When, I have to repeat it, but it's probably one of my top 5 favorite stories. The North Stars are playing Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals, the upstart North Stars at Met Center, the first final game there since 81. And Norm Green, it was announced like 2 days earlier, the only way you could watch it in the Twin Cities area was on pay-per-view.
Got it.
And now I got along with Norm. Norm called me in the morning and would tell me, how are we going to draw more people? And like I was a hockey guy.
Right.
But now he was riding high.
Right.
Everybody was like Nero. He was up there, Norm, and he'd wave. He built a booth basically up there in that corner for the playoffs.
Right.
They didn't have it there. And but I went nuts. I wrote this column. Only 30% of the metro area could even buy it.
Right.
So because of I can't even remember what was the name of
Spectrum?
I think it was Spectrum. And so Norm Greed. That was the first time anyone called him Norm Greed.
Yep.
And I hammered him. And that day, I think it was the afternoon paper. No, it probably was the morning paper then. The afternoon paper was gone. So it was in the Pioneer Press. So now they win. They're leading 2-1. This team that was 27-39 and something in the 16 seed is going to win the Stanley Cup because there were only 21 teams, so everybody made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now they're 2-1. And now they're the heroes of the town, right? And I turn on Dark, as I always do when I'm driving home at 12:30 in the morning, and the theme is, does the Twin Cities need a negative sports columnist like Patrick Royce? So I drive home and gets in, and pretty universally the phone calls are saying, no, get rid of the fat bleeper.
Yeah.
So,
they were not many sided with you.
So I get home and call, wait for a break. I'm listening to call, wait for a break, and then I call him in the studio because I got the line in there. I used to do it quite regularly, and said, quite a show you got going there, Darky. And he says, ain't it great they bleeping hate you. So how about that? I don't think that when Judd and Mackey decided to do this today, they were aware that it was Dark's birthday. So it was quite a way to honor the Dark man.
I think so. I think he's looking down, smiling. I'm pretty sure he's up there.
Now, Judd did reveal something that's a bit embarrassing for me about this. All started when they put PJ up for a video late in the second period. They went over and taped him at the U screaming, "This is our ice. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go."
Motivational.
And it is true. I did flash the finger high toward the video in the press box.
Okay.
But A, it's the press box, and it's home for hijinks. And B, I wasn't
cheering.
I wasn't giving PJ the finger himself.
Right.
I was giving the concept of having this screaming maniac up there on the video.
Right.
In other words, this wasn't, if PJ had been up there talking about Gopher football, I wouldn't have given it.
Of course not.
Yeah, it was the concept. It wasn't PJ. It wasn't Ricey giving the finger to PJ. It's like, here's what it was.
I think I know another scenario in your life.
Here's what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't say you were. I said you were acting like one. That's right. You got it. I know there's fine lines here.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is, it was the video.
I think you're covered.
It was the concept of the Wild using that video.
Yes.
So then I said to myself, if they don't score here, I know what my tweet's going to be when the game ends. The tweet being
you're already chomping at the bit.
Being that it had the same impact as it did on the Gophers late in the season. They got shut out.
Right.
That was it. Now I'm very surprised that would be the straw that that stirred the drink for Heather.
Why not choose from so many others?
Among my cheap shots on Twitter, and by the way, it's Twitter. Who gives a damn?
Right.
It's Twitter. But among the cheap shots, that's not
There
top.
was a lot
of come out with much more savagery.
That's not top 25 or 30.
PJ Fleck.
To find that needle, there was a lot more hay in that pile, wasn't it?
That's right. So anyway, it has caused quite the conundrum, I guess, locally. In fact, somebody just sent me, Bring Me the News is back in business. It's not Cupcella, it's somebody else. I think Joe Nelson, who used to work at KFAN, is behind it.
Okay,
somebody,
yeah.
But they had a post on Heather ripping local columnists. I think it's fully in Heather's rights to rip me if she wants to. I have no problem.
Now, what do you think will be the end result? Can you look into your crystal ball here, and do you see you guys sitting on Lake of Shores of Lake Minnetonka?
Manny can confirm this.
Yes, that's
I
right.
offered him $150 to his favorite charity to come in and spend an hour with us, but every time he used the word culture, I was going to deduct $10 from it. Okay? And we had a couple other words.
Culture,
process, elite or culture. And I think maybe process, then the $10.
Kind of like a fine.
Yes.
Like
it was a fine for using those. Because I'm not going to sit here and listen to him talk about culture for an hour.
You're not. That's something you don't buy into.
No, I don't buy it.
And that's why you didn't buy into that at the XL Energy Center. That's why. So you were
just
consistent.
the idea that that this is the guy coming off his 5-7 Big Ten, 2-7 Big Ten season. Hey, he's great. We love him. Let's get him all fired up. It was the notion of him being on the video.
Got it.
The only thing that would have offended me more is if it had been Schuster, who I'm really sick of. I'm really sick of Schuster, too. I get sick of
Sister
people.
Jean, maybe?
Yeah, Sister Jean. That would have irritated me, too. But she wouldn't have been as loud. Anyway, it's fun.
Have you seen the poll numbers so far?
Well, I suppose it's about 50-50.
Well, right now at 38%, the answer of he balances out Sid is leading the way.
All right.
Now.
Okay. But that's a bad
backhanded
support in my favor. He balances out everybody. Okay?
Yes.
It's everybody in town is kissing his arse except me. So it's not Sid, it's everybody.
It's like the response you had to Heather's tweet. Balance.
That's what we're looking for. Balance. Yes. Okay. Then that's 38%, so I'm okay with 38%.
Time to hang it up, Pat, is at 24%.
Oh, because it's higher than it was, so that's moving up. It's getting close.
At 20%,
Guess I better vote again.
Yeah.
At 20%, it's row the boat, baby.
Okay. Well, they support Phil, but they don't necessarily. They're not necessarily against me.
And coming in fourth out of 4 questions, Royce is still around at 17%.
That's good.
That's kind of like no opinion.
All right.
I don't have an opinion.
I'm glad we got him through so long. This does remind me very much of my semi-feud with Ahmad in '82 when I was writing columns for the St. Paul Dispatch. And Ahmad was, Ahmad, as Bud used to call him, was having his diary published in Sports Illustrated, right? I mean, 4 weeks they had him in there, and he was a national hero. And every week in the Dispatch, when I wrote about a Viking game, I'd have one little sentence in there about Ahmad refusing to run across the middle. I'd always take a shot about him.
Right.
He caught and Ahmad caught a 12-yarder dash on the sideline, of course, something like that. And he jumped me one day in the locker room out there and started saying, "What the hell?" I said, "Ahmad, you're a national hero." I said, "Nobody reads the Dispatch. You're the only guy reading it. What do you care? What do you
You're the
care?
guy.
What do you
You're
care?"
the one guy.
It's like, it's a Twitter account. Who cares?
Wasn't it nice that you were relevant in his life, though? He was reading you every day?
Yes. Yeah. Well, he must have somehow saw the cheap shot like early in the season, so then he went and looked.
Then he looked every time.
I got him good though the last time. He got hit in Detroit. A guy named James Hunter came up and hit him in the back. Remember, broke his back.
Okay.
And they never played again.
I don't even remember that.
And he had said in that week's diary edition he'd only been hit hard 3 times in his career, and my lead said, "Dear diary, make that 4 times."
Wow!
But I didn't know his career was. I didn't know his career was going to be over. That was on Monday.
What are those poll numbers up to now, Manny?
Had I known it, I probably would have used it anyway. But I would have felt bad.
I don't think you would have.
I would have felt bad. That's the difference. Anyway, go for it, Heather. Anytime you want to tweet out me, it's gotten me more attention than I've gotten in years. So thank you.
Yes.
Loons here, or are they on the road?
The Loons?
Are they on the road this week?
You got me.
I think they're here
I'll find out.
27th. So
we've got Francis on the line.
Last week. All right, Chris Reavers on his way to Winnipeg, or have you already arrived?
Crossed the Canadian border a little while ago, although I did get the mayor because the mayor likes the since whens.
Okay.
So I said, "Say, Joe, since when have you needed a passport to get into Canada?" And he berated me for a few minutes, but
you didn't take one?
No, I was joking with the old man.
Fell for it too. Come on, Pat.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Jesse, all right, Billy Pierce. What do you got?
It's Reavers, for God's sake.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
So
Unbelievable, isn't it?
At what point did you say to yourself, "Boy, this is stupid"? But up there by Evelyn
I haven't
somewhere?
gotten there yet. Well, you know what? To be honest, though, I'm still about 35, 40 miles from my hotel in Winnipeg, but.
Yes.
It is miles and miles of nothing, but this is no worse than driving to Chicago.
What route did you take? How'd you get there?
I went 94 through Alec, and then
Up to
hooked the
Fargo?
right, went up 29, and exactly.
Which side of the Lake of the Woods do you go on? The east
west
side or the west side?
the west side.
West side,
Okay.
West side, yes, west side.
All right. Now,
But,
this
Pat,
is
you weren't kidding, by the way.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you weren't kidding. So I've been monitoring the radio and the Joe and Pat of Winnipeg Sports Talk.
Yes.
These people are ready to party tonight if they clinch this series.
Well, they've never won a playoff series. The Jets, I think, won one. The original Jets, maybe 2. The original Jets had some really good teams, except they were in the same division as Edmonton and would get swept in either 3 or 4 games every year. I looked it up. They are ready, and they said that they'll be going until about Tuesday, maybe, if they do happen to win.
Yeah, I think they're going to need a couple extra days after tonight if they do end up, in fact, beating our beloved Wild, because they're ready to go.
Now, here's the deal. When you drive to Buffalo, you know somebody. When you drive to St. Louis, you know somebody.
This is what I was thinking.
You don't even know any Canadians, do you?
No, but that's what God invented beer.
Are you alone, Chris? Are you alone?
Yeah, I'm driving up by myself.
That's what he do.
This is all a big hoax. You're down in Faribault, aren't you? You're sitting in the Legion in Faribault right now.
What was the...
I'm in my brother's... Kenny, I'm in my brother's pole barn. We're on our second case already.
Hey, what was the show about the Phil Hartman was in, the TV station? What was that show?
Something radio. News radio.
Yeah. And Jimmy James was the station manager, right?
Yes.
And he went to the moon, except they had him back in the
janitor closet.
They had him back in the thing. That's what Rivers has done.
Right.
So then what do? You stay overnight and drive back?
Yeah, well, since she's an early game, that'll give us an extra time to celebrate the big win for our Jets. And then driving back in the morning.
As much as your son Will is a Wild fan and there's other Wild fans, you want to be there to see the party, right?
Absolutely. I hope they get drilled 6-0.
You're not wearing Wild colors, are you?
Are you out of your mind?
No. I'm not, but I was wondering if you were, actually.
Right. We don't know when
Canadians
you are
are-
when you're not.
This isn't like going to a Buffalo football game or Philadelphia, though. The Canadians are peace-loving. They would just want to taunt you. They would just taunt you.
Yeah, and my guess is they're going to be all wrapped up in their own euphoria celebrating the win that they won't really care that much if there's opposing fans there.
But they might, if they know you're a Yankee and they lose, they might beat you up.
Right.
That's true, but
Skulk
I
away.
think we all pretty much know that the death march is happening tonight.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but it's hockey. You always have a 30% chance. It's not like
I do hope
it's not like the Timberwolves playing Houston where you have 0% chance.
Yeah.
None.
True.
None.
But
Only-
my goal is to see someone that's decked out in complete face paint with vomit all over himself. That's my goal.
That is a worthy
But
goal.
what time do they
Stumbling.
drop the puck?
6:30.
Oh man, you
6:30
better
the puck
hustle. How
drop.
many miles you got?
I'm almost there. I've only got about 30 miles to go, and my hotel is literally 2 blocks from the arena.
Literally.
All right.
Okay.
So if they do, if the Wild do pull off some type of miracle and beat these guys, don't oversell it that you really hate Minnesota Wild. That you're like, oh yeah, I hate those. I'm from Minnesota, but I really hate the Wild. Don't oversell your
Well, I could
sorrow.
You know,
I just figured I could go with the Blake Wheeler card. You know, I could play the neutral party and just say, "Oh, I'm here to celebrate Wheeler."
and you know
You know,
they
then I
do.
can get off that way if they.
Some of those cities up there, Roseau and War Road, and that back in the day, they had their share of Jets fans because it was closer to drive there than it
Well,
was
and with
closer to
Dustin
drive
Bufflin
down.
being there now, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody in Roseau is probably pulling for the Jets.
Tell me,
anyway.
Blake Wheeler's
Yeah,
cousin.
stop in Roseau on the way back and see the Bufflin brothers, the uncles. They're
right,
supposed to be some characters.
Patrick, before I forget, I'm glad I remembered. I was, like I said, monitoring the sports radio at various stations, and the Fargo station, I forget the gentleman that does the midday show, but they carry another affiliate in our neighborhood. But the local guy brought up your Twitter beef with Heather Fleck on his radio show today.
Yeah, he's global. He's global.
Yeah, this is
It's gone
The
mad.
Fixer is
the
international.
Fixer has gone international. All righty. Well,
And of course, it was. How can this guy get away with bashing a wife of a head coach in the Twin Cities?
yeah, but I didn't bash her.
Yeah.
I did. All I said was
Doesn't matter. I fully support him.
She asked why. Yeah. Okay.
But here's the deal. The question.
You know what a good guy I am. I'll tell you. You're not going to hear it, but these guys will hear it later. So.
But what the question though, you missed this part. The question was not does Minnesota Does America need that?
And Canada. Now, and Canada. All right.
Reeves.
We'll be back. Hey, good luck, you dummy.
Yeah, he'll make it back, hopefully in one piece. Sports Talk Friday version will continue. Right now we got Bruce Vail waiting in the wings in his New Jersey cubbyhole with the Your Money Now report coming to us courtesy of Owatonna's own Federated Insurance.
And stocks were lower at the market close today, ending the week on a down note, but the major indexes did manage to hang on for small weekly gains thanks to the nice rallies on Monday and Tuesday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 201 points, closing at 24,462. The NASDAQ Composite lost 91 points, and the S&P 500 dropped 23. Department store operator Bon-Ton Stores will begin closing down its remaining stores and will go out of business after a bankruptcy judge said she would approve the sale of the retailer's assets. Bon-Ton still has more than 250 stores, and all the closures will put about 24,000 people out of work. Today is April 20th, or 420, and if you don't know what that means, it's the unofficial holiday for people who enjoy a little marijuana. It's also a good day to stay off the highway if you don't have to drive. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association shows traffic accidents increase on April 20th, especially after 4:20 p.m. The observed 12% increase in crashes was comparable to the increase that occurs each year on Super Bowl Sunday, which is known for causing drunk driving crashes. I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
Okay, thank you very much, Bruce. Have a nice weekend. We'll cut you loose here. And we'll check your traffic because it's the typical Friday melee. This report sponsored by KFC, westbound 694. It's bad, 35W over to East River Road, an earlier wreck to blame for that. Between the downtowns, westbound 94 jams up somewhere right around 280, or the river runs bad over through the tunnel. It's a 15-minute drive between the downtowns, eastbound between also 15. If you're doing the outbound exodus, 16 minutes for westbound 94 from the Fish Lake split to 101 in Rogers. KFC.
Mackie sent you.
Remember, I wasn't giving the finger to PJ Fleck.
Right?
I was giving it to the concept of the video of PJ Fleck.
Yes.
There was, so we got to get that straight, right? Because
Yes.
I would never do that.
Right, of course not.
I would never do that.
America does not
concept
need
of
that.
No.
As the Canadians are.
Not a guy who does as
questioning.
much good in the community as he does. And when he isn't backstabbing Tracy Clays and Jerry Kill, he's doing a great job. Anyway, here's
Got it.
Johnny Height with a sports update.
Points awarded.
Thanks, Patrick. It's sunny and 70 degrees. Wild have to win tonight or their season is over. They're at Winnipeg, as is Chris Reavers, to play the Jets. Jets lead the best-of-7 series 3-1.
Is the Saturday? Hey, Collar's going to be in here at 4:00, so I can maybe get the Saturday boys to have Reavers act as their correspondent.
Let's
last
force him
night's
to
game.
do some work. So, yes,
right.
I demand that. He should be doing some work.
I found out he's going to be up in the press box. So
I know you got to be down with the fans,
which always worries me when I find out Reavers is going to be out of town somewhere in a press box. I just hope he's not wearing station colors. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Twins open up a weekend series against the Tampa Bay Rays down in Florida tonight. They get the Tampa Bay ace, Chris Archer. He's pitching for the Rays. Lance Lynn goes for the Twins. Your Twins lineup, Dozier, Mauer, Sano, Rosario, Morrison, Escobar, Kepler, Max Kepler playing in center
All
field
right,
again.
so the knee's fine.
Yep, and he's playing in center tonight. Grossman is hitting eighth in right field, and Castro is catching. We also,
Hey, our guy Molly has an uncommon likeness. Like he likes Grossman a little too much for my taste.
yeah, you're a little down on Grossman.
I just don't. He doesn't do much. He gets a walk once in a while, but that's about it.
By the way, Phil Hughes will be activated from the disabled list in time to start Sunday against Tampa Bay. Phil hasn't made a major league start since May 21st of last season. Ooh. News notes from today. Today, of course, the unofficial holiday for marijuana aficionados, and local law enforcement is having. Excuse me. Having a
How
little
did
bit
we
of
choose
fun.
this as the date?
420.
Yeah.
It's number one. It's a police code when there's a cannabis consumption call.
That's it.
It's Adolf's birthday. Is what it
It's
is.
Adolf's birthday too. Yeah.
Ooh.
The Crystal Police Department having some fun, posting on its Facebook page. It's giving away prizes to the person who has the most marijuana.
That stuff isn't funny anymore.
You're sick of the police.
The Wyoming guy, was it Hugo or Wyoming?
No, it's Wyoming. It's Wyoming, and I'm really tempted to block all of them. It just irritates me now.
Well,
it was cute a few years ago, but now it's just stupid and trite.
Speaking of the Wyoming Police Department,
They've got like 3 billion retweets.
they posted undercover operations and incognito traps that they've set up throughout the city. The traps are junk food for those experiencing the munchies.
Hilarious.
Like Wonder Bread and Doritos.
You guys are so funny.
You're on that reefer, you're going to get hungry.
Wow. What voice was that? Yeah.
That was right from the Reefer Madness movie we had to watch in high school. It was a movie called Reefer Madness.
Oh, yeah. We're all very familiar
That's
with it.
better than what we used to have to watch in Catholic grade school, man, in the 50s. Gory car accidents because guys and girls were out in the car not paying attention.
Necking. Necking is what we called it.
Yeah, blood and arms and all kinds of stuff.
Did you guys have, maybe this was specific to Mandan High School, but when we took driver's ed, we had to watch the Highway Patrol films that showed the aftermath of all the accidents,
Yeah.
the crushed bodies, and
Like Prom Night.
decapitated, with the real films, though, from the Highway Patrol.
But they used to show that sort of stuff right in the newspaper. They used to go right up to the scene of crashes and take a picture.
Well, yeah, that was Larry Millett's Crazy Days or Dangerous Nights or whatever it was.
Yeah. A great book.
Oh, when the gangsters got shot, they'd show
Gangsters
laying
and
out
car
the
crashes and half a torso hanging out of an upside-down car.
Yep.
I always said if I was an editor, man, we would cover crime.
A school superintendent, principal, and assistant principal were arrested for not telling authorities about a student fight club at their Connecticut high school. Several organized fights took place inside a math classroom at Montville High School during school hours with the encouragement of a substitute teacher.
What in the hell?
This guy.
Many of the
Show me you're a man. Get up here.
Many of the slap boxing fights were video recorded by students and shown to other students. Video obtained by a local TV station shows two boys punching, hitting, and slapping each other in the classroom. Someone in the background can be heard laughing, while another person appears to encourage the fight, yelling, "Get him! Get him! Get him!" The former substitute teacher, Ryan Fish, was arrested and charged with overseeing the fight club.
Wow.
23-year-old Fish has pleaded not guilty to charges including reckless endangerment and risk of an injury to a minor. He was fired from the school, but police were not notified until 2 months after that happened. State police said yesterday that Montville Superintendent Brian Levesque, Montville High School Principal Jeffrey Theodos, and Assistant Principal Tashiana Patton are all charged with failing to report abuse. A British Airways pilot's been charged after he tried to fly a 300-passenger flight while 4 times over the drink fly alcohol.
I thought we kind of got rid of the drunk
He's an
pilot.
old schooler.
Yeah, right.
That's good. Still some of us around.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, don't worry.
I fly better when I'm drunk.
I'll get a nice nap when we put her on autopilot. Don't worry.
Julian Monahan was escorted off the Boeing 777 at Gatwick Airport in Sussex.
That's not good for the Irish stereotype either.
The 49-year-old...
Where's the former governor to comment on that one?
Right.
49-year-old no longer works for the airline, was arrested in front of vacationers en route after concerned stewards called 999, the equivalent, of course, of 911. He's charged with having 86 milligrams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood in his system. The legal limit
doesn't mean anything to us.
Well, here it does now, because the legal limit, I will tell you, is 20 milligrams. So he was more than 4 times.
Yeah, but what
over.
is that? Is that like 2 gallons, or is that a shot glass?
Let's say the legal limit is
half a pint.
Don't you think it's maybe 0.08 or 0.04 to fly?
I don't know. The question I'm dying to ask, Patrick, if you were sitting on the tarmac and you knew the pilot was 5 drinks over the legal limit, what would you want off, or would you say, let's take a chance?
That would be Yeah, that'd be
He
a tough
needs
one.
the wall to hold him up, Patrick.
You'd have to-
Are you going to let him fly?
You'd have to go with what
I gotta
consensus
check
says.
out the co-pilot first. If the
Remember-
co-pilot's in the same condition.
Remember Souchere the night of his little award at the radio thing?
Yeah.
That drunk. Or you gotta use the furniture to hold
but
yourself
there's
up.
usually two on a jet. So if the other gal or guy's fine, then I'm going.
If they look
Then
like
I'm going.
Foster Brooks, it's a no. We're not.
Yeah, we gotta wait. We gotta get a sober one.
That actually is a Foster Brooks bid on one of those Dean Martin.
Dean
He's
Martin.
a pilot.
I'm
He's a
an airline pilot.
Yeah. By the way, this fellow was let off 2 hours later. The plane was able to take off after they got a fella in there to fly the plane for
Yeah,
them.
see, Patrick? 2 hours? You want to sit there for 2 hours?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I would have taken a shot. Yeah, the more I think about it, I would have taken a shot.
That a boy.
One of the saddest pictures on the internet that I saw today, a homeless man dressed only in American flag shorts was arrested after he stole a truck full of beer, led police on a highway chase. The picture was him handcuffed in the back of the police car, looking very sad in just his American flag
What
shorts.
would we do without alcohol? You wouldn't have news, John. You wouldn't
true.
have news.
We
There would
couldn't
be
do
no
this.
news.
We couldn't do this segment.
No good without alcohol.
Police
Man.
identified the suspect as 46-year-old Matt Hermsmeyer. He was charged with suspicion of vehicle theft, possession of stolen property, resisting arrest, and violation of probation. A Coors truck driver was making a delivery at a Santa Rosa liquor store when a customer entered the store and told the driver that a man had climbed into his parked truck and driven away with it.
A hobo in his underpants is driving away in your truck.
The customer described the suspect as an apparent homeless man dressed only in red, white, and blue shorts. The GPS system inside the truck gave police the suspect's location within minutes. The Santa Rosa police, including a canine officer and his partner, were dispatched to the scene where witnesses reported seeing the suspect on foot after he abandoned the truck. He was caught by police at that point within an hour of the truck's theft.
Hey, I'll have to get you guys booze orders for next Friday. 37 years next Friday, but I like to buy my friends some alcohol on
Let's
my
go top
sobriety
shelf as
dates.
you normally do.
Well, I have to warn you, I'm up to the $50 bottles of tequila now. So,
The Patron,
yeah, the
you can
good
get
stuff.
it at Costco cheaper than
And
that.
I'm off the bourbon, but I can get some clear. We'll find some.
Well, just give me your
something clear.
orders. That's,
All right.
I like to support commerce.
That's how I love to celebrate your sobriety as well. So
Cloud.
Several years ago in my youth, Bill Deal from WDGY, the deacon of the discs,
Yep.
the Raja of the records,
Right.
would get in his Bill mobile and come out to towns and play 45s at the sock hop.
Fun.
So there's Avicii that died.
Yeah.
Is that what he does?
No.
Is that what those guys do?
No, it's not.
No, what do they do? What's a modern DJ that would get this much sympathy? This outpouring of grief is rather shocking to me.
I was told by my kid who does this kind of music and enjoys this kind of music also that this would be the equivalent of, say, a Chuck Berry or.
But it's tech. But he doesn't play the music.
He plays music up there. He's got turntables. He's got.
But he's scratching
computers.
But he's
They don't-
scratching.
Nobody really scratches anymore.
Okay.
That doesn't happen anymore. It's more like.
So you play it off the computer or something?
Rook, can you look up a song by Avicii called "Wake Me Up"? He had a big hit with one,
Yeah.
and he used
Me Up Before
vocals.
You Go Go?
He used vocals too.
So he's using, it's kind of sampling a little bit?
It can be sampling. It can just be beats that he created.
But does the vocals aren't his?
The vocals are not his. He'll hire somebody or work with an artist who's famous or whatever.
they're somewhat clean.
It should all.
So
be.
this
It
was
a big
what
hit.
Trevor May was doing, techno music.
Yes.
right?
Yeah. And this is kind of a weird. Go in a little bit, Rook,
Okay.
because then you'll hear it kind of.
Wait, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's a good tune. It was a hit. See, and he adds these beats. So
Okay.
that's what he's doing. And he just edits it all together.
Okay, so it's not a total ripoff.
No, not at all.
No,
Not at
it's
all.
okay.
Not at
Okay,
all.
it's techno music.
In fact,
Okay.
the stuff my
Well, why
kid
do they
does,
identify him as a DJ? then?
Well, that's what they call it. They're just called DJs.
Okay.
And they all, like the stuff my kid does, he creates all the beats and all the music, puts them all together himself.
Okay.
But he stands up on a stage and uses turntables and stuff to create that stuff there.
They
So,
don't like us.
so no, they don't sit and play records.
No.
What's that?
Why?
That's a thing in the middle
That's
of
part
the
of the
video.
video.
Yeah.
Oh, they got kids talking. Okay, well then it's not Bill Deal.
It's
Why are
not
there
Bill
kids
Deal,
on
no.
The deacon of the discs.
Not at all. And apparently, see, I had to call my kid because you're right. I saw all this stuff online too.
Oh, people are hard. He's a Swede, and people are heartbroken. He retired 2 years ago because of the stress, and he died in Oman.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Kenny? He was in Oman on vacation or some damn thing.
He apparently
What do you do in Oman for vacation?
I don't know.
was one of the guys who got it on that kind of music on radio also. So he's that's why he's considered such a pioneer of the music. So
Manny hadn't heard of him.
Huh?
Which surprises me, but that's not hip hop, so that's probably why
not at
Manny
all.
doesn't like it.
Yeah, EDM. EDM.
Okay, all right. Thanks for explaining that to me. I
don't really know that much
even
about
at my
it.
age, I'm still learning. See, I'm still worried about learning and changing my ways.
But don't change your ways for next Friday. We got to keep
God,
what
no.
you're doing.
Well, the problem is they lifted the term DJ, confusing all
Yes,
of us.
yes,
you know,
that's true.
you come up with your own name for what
Yes,
you're
right.
doing.
Yeah. Techno artist or something. right?
Techno artist.
Yeah.
There you go.
Turntable.
Trevor May sent out a heartbroken tweet on how much he's going to miss this guy.
I've seen a dozen heartbroken tweets from different famous people, other disc jockeys, fans.
Could he play a guitar?
That I don't have any idea.
Well, I could find the music from one, I suppose. Okay. All right, John.
I
thank
think
you.
it would be fun to see Pat as a DJ. You know, maybe spinning the discs. Or,
How about back in the 50s? Don't dance that close now.
leave some room for Jesus.
Yeah,
we called it. Leave some room for Jesus.
That's right.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, that's what the Catholic grades. Yeah, leave some room for Jesus.
Speaking of that, do you have a musical guest in mind this afternoon?
Oh, we do. The Jerry Lee Lewis, the country bent. The country bent of
country
Jerry Lee
stuff's
Lewis.
fun.
Is this before in his career? Would this be before or after he married his 13-year-old cousin, first cousin?
Most of the country came later.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
after.
You know, I think he got a bad rap.
So he already had a whole bunch of inbred children at this point.
I don't know. Did they have any kids?
I
The
don't-
13-year-old? She was a very tiny girl.
I think they had one child, I believe.
Okay. She's still around.
Yeah.
And so is he.
So is he, yeah. Surprisingly, of all those pioneers of rock and roll,
that
he's
still with us.
alive.
It is unbelievable.
He's got to be approaching 100.
No, I looked it up. 82. 82.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's still performing. In fact, he's at Treasure Island next month, I think.
God, he's good.
No kidding.
Oh, man, he was good.
Does he still play the piano with his foot?
All
I don't know
that
if he
stuff,
can
I'm
still
sure.
do that.
He can lift
Is it
it
by
that high?
accident or is that by design? Whoops.
Johnny, you better give us one more. One news. You got to have one hot news item you wanted to get in before I interrupted you.
I'm going to tell you about this. I told people about this on Stillwater, on GL too, but this Stillwater High School student, did you see this one?
No, I missed it.
Sent a tweet out to some celebrities asking for a prom date. Got an answer from The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, right.
The video shared on the Instagram feed of
Can
Dwayne.
I leave now?
Dwayne,
Is it
listen,
too
it's-
early
it
for
gets
me
better.
to leave?
Okay.
Videos shared on the Instagram feed of Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock, turned the proposal down, but he did leave Katie Kelsenberg. Leave Katie Kelsenberg hanging. The Rock came over morning announcements at school today and told Kelsenberg he's shooting a film in Hawaii on the date of the Stillwater prom, but he rented out an entire theater for Katie and 232 friends to watch a special screening of his film, Rampage.
Now, that's a good guy, no matter how hokey it is, don't you think, Kenny?
No, not at all.
He's also,
Stupid.
besides sending them there, he also said, quote, all the free popcorn, candy, and soda that high school
What a
kids
guy,
can
The
consume.
This is the equivalent of police departments making cute 420 tweets. It's just dumb.
You know,
Your world is so dark, Kenny.
that's why I want Kenny as my partner at the Krabby Coffee Shop. He's more crabby than I am. It's unbelievable. What a match. It's a match made in cranky heaven.
Cranky heaven.
All right. We shall return. Collar will join me in the 4 o'clock hour.